What's up everybody, hello and welcome to a new Let's Play. Today we start with Endzone, a world apart. The game has been out now for about 3 weeks I think on Steam, and I was playing this game when it came out, but I thought it was a bit too unbalanced, so a lot of patches happened in the 3 weeks that passed now, and we also have received the first update, which is Expeditions. So now we have those ruins here on the game map that have an icon above them. An interesting place, send a scout from an expedition station here, so we can now send people there and, well, explore these areas, have some new quests and stories, stuff like that, and lots of balancing patches in the meantime. So here we are now in a completely empty map, so the maps are always randomly generated, and we do have, well, we have a nice place here, well, haven't we? And we do have a water close by, some scraps, some trees, and I should say let's get started here. Now, first of all, what we need to do is we do need to get some wood. We do need to get some scraps, so that's here. So as we can see here, let's chop down some wood over here, some trees, and gather the scrap. Down here we have scraps that we can gather, so that's that. So my people will now automatically go there. Now let's have a look at my people there while they're doing that. Some of them have fashions here, beautiful. Maxime, he found the right dress for himself, and as we can see now, those scavengers here now, they are, well, getting the scrap for us. So we are a bunch of survivors here. We don't know what happened. There's, well, some apocalypse, and we hear some nuclear catastrophic because we do have radiation on the map. So there's something about it, an atomic bomb, probably something like that. And this is the fallout now, and here we are gathering some scrap from a civilization that is not anymore here, and also the trees here. Now we do get that. Next up, as we can see, we have water and food. Now we do need to get those up and running here, and that very quickly. So water is always a huge problem in this game, so let's get started here with a chatty. That means that we have a boardwalk here, kind of, and a cistern. Now those two are necessary, so the people in the cistern will then go up here and gather water from the lake that we have here. Beautiful deep lake as well, and then we have the water with that. What we can see here too, so this game is kind of a mixture of Surviving the Aftermath, Banished, and Frostpunk, something like that. So we do have a weather system as well that changes, having more radiation, having more rain, having a drought, something like that. So that is definitely inspired by Frostpunk and stuff like that. We have the setting here and the graphics, which is really similar to Surviving the Aftermath, and then we have a building and colony simulation style like Banished, and that mixture makes it really interesting. Now, what we need though, before we can build that, we do need some builders. So we do have the professions menu here, and let's assign 3 builders so we can start building something. So people will only go to these places here, gather scrap and scatter the wood, when they have no other task. And in this case here, 7 people have no task at the moment, so they just gather that stuff, and we do need that. Oh, and then the first tree fell down, and he's now getting us some wood. Now those people here, as we can see, have a profession, what they are right now. So they're just settlers without any tasks. They have health, they have radiation level, they have, well, different confidence levels that increase then over time, their happiness of course, and, well, what they have equipped right now. So tools, clothing, education, and home. Tools is always important to have efficiency on them, so without them their efficiency is reduced with whatever they're doing. Clothing is very important as protection against radiation. Those levels are going to increase over time. Education from the school, the higher educated, the more efficient they are with their work. And if they have a home, and they can only replicate once we have homes. So right now we do have 10 adults and 5 children, and of course those children become adults, and adults then reproduce in homes, new children, and thus we can grow. That's the way, so we don't get people from outside, as far as I think. So it's really just a village made out of 10 people that grows then. Think about that. Now we have that. We do gather now some wood and scrap. Water is going down now, so that's important. And the other thing is, let's gather some other things so we can have some more tasks here. Gather resources, gather plants. Gather plants, that is something here, so that we get herbs and meat, that is, well, food. Herbs is very important, that is the medication up here, to keep radiation levels low. Once someone is radiated, we can treat them, or once someone is sick with that, we can treat them. Now stockpile is running out, improve your infrastructure. And what we can see here, it is becoming night of season 1. So 1 season is 1 day, effectively. And we can see here now the weather forecast. Tomorrow we expect some slight rain and, well, nothing on the horizon other than that. And here we can see now the boardwalk is finished. So it's actually up here now on the lake there. And people are now delivering more things. Now, for people to travel more efficiently, we do need some roads there as well. Lucky here we do have some outlines in front of those buildings. So we can have those roads here. My builders are going to build them. They don't cost me anything. And with those roads, then people will just move. And it's making it easier, you know, to structure your village with that. So that's a good way of doing it. And there we have the cistern. Very important. And we do need to assign, let's say, 3 people for now. I always like to be extra sure when it comes to the water. And as we can see now, those people are delivering the water here to the cistern. And yeah, we do have the lakes now as a water source. We could build a well or rainwater collector here then too. Those buildings though, well, they cost me a bit more than only wood and scrap. They cost me plastic. And plastic is something that I haven't gotten yet. We do need to get that then at some point. Now here, this one's finished. There's nothing here anymore. We do need some more for gather scrap. Let's have a look. Gather scrap. And I think over here we do have enough of that, right? There's lots of resources here. And I can also see that we got now 11 adults. So one child grew up. And now water should be saved with that. Now I say should because I never really know how balanced the water and food is now after all these updates. Now we do have the water coming in. Food is the next one. For food, we do have more options at this point. So we do have the gatherer's cabin, the hunting lodge, the fishing hut, and the fields. Now I'm going with the fishing hut first. I like it because it's permanent, so you don't have to like restructure or replan the work areas like with the gatherer hut or the hunting lodge there all the time, and it's faster than the fields. So there we have the fishing hut. Of course, we do need a road once again, going then over here to connect that. And we probably will get 4 builders up at this point because we do have quite a work to do. And what I can see here too is that we have some radiation. Let's have a look at that. It is raining at the moment, and this rain has no contamination as far as I can see. And that means that, well, we don't get any contamination, but actually it's washing it away a bit there. Yes, it's washing it away a bit there. So this is reducing. So it should be fine for now. And those people gather the water. And what I can see right now is that 3 of them should be fine for now. Right? There are my workers coming now for the fish farm, the fishing hut that we have here. Very good. We're still collecting lots of scrap there. Wood is piling up as well. And with wood, we can do now going for the cabins here. So with that, we can then have people house in here, and of course that makes it easier to produce new people, children of course. And in that case, let's have a block of houses here. Let's start with the first block. And why am I doing this here? Well, here we do have our town center. It doesn't look like much at the moment. It's just a bus rack, but eventually we can upgrade it and it becomes a bit more. It's a meeting place and it's our warehouse here where we can stockpile food and resources and stuff like that. And day 2 ends. Very good. Fishing hut is not finished yet. We do need still scrap and wood for this one here. Hopefully people hurry up a bit about that. All the workers that I have 4 workers actually. And the first cabin is finished too. So my people are now finally having houses, a roof over their head. That makes them happier. I wonder about my fishing hut there at the moment. Oh, there they are. Very good. Now people bring something over here because we do need that. Food is running out. Do we have a task here for food? We do have gather plants. So that is something here. That is something that's also including food, of course. But right now that's that. And let's have the hunting. Do we have some hunting grounds here nearby? Nope, but gather we should have. Yes, let's have a gatherer cabin. And since my town is here, I do have lots of wood down here with food. So let's have a gatherer cabin here. Right, and there we can have a road then going from that place here over there. Should be fine. There are some scrap piles here. Nothing serious. We could actually take that. Gather scrap is here. There's still something here, but once this is gone, we can get rid of it. Now we can get rid of it. Very good. And down here we still have some scraps that we can gather. Fishing hut is finished now. So let's assign some fishers. I would say 3. And we'll just see if that is enough while we build the cabin. And after a little bit of time, we have our gatherer's hut now finished as well. Over here, and what we can see, 4 people are working here now. We have nearby resource of 420 food. Now those guys here in the gatherer cabin and in the fishing hut, well, they fish and gather and then deliver the food, not to the cistern like the water guys, but all the way up here to our bus wreck. Now that is a bit bad because they waste a lot of time walking around, so we should do something about that. We should build a warehouse. We can have the warehouse here. It's not particularly expensive, some wood and some scrap, and if we build it here, people can just go right to this place here and, well, gather some of that pressure, or, well, just deliver those resources here. So in that case, let's just have the warehouse here. It's a big building. It's probably the biggest building that we have so far. And yeah, except for the market. Look at the market. That is massive. And the expedition station, that is the new building that we have. So here we can then train scouts, and they can then scavenge the map for more resources and interesting stuff and whatever they find. Now here I have 2 builders now working. We do have some other production buildings, but right now I want to clear the forest here. So it's a good thing to cut down the wood here. Of course, as you can see, that's happening rather quickly. So in that case, we do have then the forest lodge that can also replant trees. Right now we just clear everything around the village here. And as a byproduct, we get lots of wood for that we need. Scrap, though, on the other side, we do have those scrap piles here, but we cannot, you know, get the scrap out of them with the task menu. We do need a specialized building for that, and that is the, I think the scrapyard. There it is, right? And with that, we can then have those scrap piles there. But for now, it's fine. And as we can see here, now we got another child coming up here. So we have 5 children now and 14 adults. So that is growing really quickly. We do have 1 free settler right now. 2 builders, they should build the warehouse. And let's also build another cabin that we can do over here. Since 2 people are homeless, but as we can see here, we do have some weather. Some sunny weather right now, and today there's nothing going to happen. Tomorrow there's some slight rain again. Now those are the things that are working fine. Food is stable, water is stable. What we need is herbs. Herbs is very important because once the radiation level rises, or if someone becomes sick, we have to treat them, and right now we only have 50 herbs of that. So that is something that needs to be up and running all the time. And for that, down here we have a beautiful big forest, and there we can just have a herbal hut, right? So I'm not intending to do anything else down here in that forest for now, perhaps later then, but then we can just restructure the whole thing. There we have the road. So in that forest, lots of things happen. We also have lots of game down here, so we can have a hunter if we want to. And up here, we're just building the city, you know, above the village there, or to the north of that lake here. Over here, as we can see, lots of space available actually for some fields and farms if we want to. So we can have the road going all the way over there. So I think that's fine for now. Over here, we still gather some wood. We still gather some scrap, but we don't have anything anymore. So let's demolish the scrap there and get another task up and running for scrap. Perhaps we find something close by. Over here, we have lots of scrap still left that we can collect. So let's do that. And if a villager is bored, well, they can just do that. And very good, we have built the warehouse now. So people can just now deliver, as you can see, fish, mushroom, berries, wood, practically anything. And they can just deliver that and go right back to work. So they're much more efficient with that building here now active. And we have more resources available right from the start. What we can see here, we do have 11 tools left and 5 radiation protection. So those are things that we have to keep eyeing here, because without tools, productivity really drops. So that is something we have to do at some point, or well, actually soon. My population is growing anyway. We do have enough wood, we do have enough scrap, so let's go for a recycler. So with this one here, separates metal, cloth, plastic or electronics from scrap with low efficiency. And then we can have the workshop, produces tools from the metal then that we have out of the recycler. Recyclers, we actually do need quite a lot of them. And I think we are just going to have one recycler getting some metal, and then we can have the refiner, which is much more efficient than the recycler. And so let's just have the recycler here. Right, so here I want to have a bit of more industry area here. Here we have just some people living, the residents then. Up here we have lots of space. Here I have the industry and the warehouse here as the close by area. There we have the recycler then. Getting the metal out of that will be important. Food wise we are fine, water we are fine. So this is looking much better than last time. We have down here the herbal hut. It still needs to be built, so we do have the builders for that. And oh yeah, more children now. Weather wise we are fine so far. No rain tomorrow and rain the day after that. We do have some slight rain right now with weekly contamination. But we have no contamination here in the area right now, as you can see. And there the recycler is coming up now. Let's assign one as the refiner, and we do get metal out of the scraps. Now from this moment on, we actually consume scraps. So we do need to have a scrap yard for that as well. Without that, we are running out of scrap sooner than later. And here we have the scrap yard. And with that, we can then also get the other things here, the scrap piles. You know, that's lots up here, 1,200 or something like that. So really lots of that. So we do want to have that scrapper, that scrap yard here. And I think in that case here, yeah, actually let's have it over there, because there's so much scrap over here, he will never be finished. And then we have something over here and here, you know, so it's a good thing to have that where we have the most scrap, and that's over there. So let's get a dirt road up there. Just over here, and there we have then the scrapyard. So this must smell bad as well, the scrapyard there. So in that case, it's good to have it far away then from the rest of the town. It's a big building there as well. It needs wood and scraps. Wood we still have. And what I can see here, gather wood. Oh, we still have some trees up there. That's fine. And yeah, we do need some more houses as well, some cabins there. So these cabins are also only the first level here. We can still upgrade them later. We could even have those big shelters housing more people. But I think we should be fine with the cabin only for now. Let's have another one here. And let's see what we want to have here. So we do have the campfire. That is very good for the happiness. So I'm going to have the campfire probably up here once we get rid of the scrap pile there. Medical facility, extremely important. And another huge building, school. Yeah, we can squeeze in the school here then if we want to. Something like that, or the pub. Ah yeah, having the pub here might make the most sense actually, because it connects the residents with the workers and everybody goes to the pub anyway. And in that case here, let's build the road to kind of cut it off there, so that we have then the pub. It fits in there perfectly. Very good. That's that. Let's see. Otherwise, we do have the warehouse, the market, the expedition station. Something for later then, probably over here. We just see about that. Let's just wait for those buildings here to finish. Health and happiness is still perfectly fine for my people. And I think down here, Herbal Hut is now active, so let's assign one to that, right? And since food is growing, so let's get a fisher and get him as a herbalist, so that we really get more out of it. And as we can see now here, this guy here, the recycler, what's his name there? Oh, Sarah, and she's, yeah, getting the metal out of it. And as we can see, we got 4 metals now, 6 in stock, actually 2 reserved. And once we have 10 of it, we can build the big one, the one that matters the most, the refinery that we have here. But for that we need more scraps, and that is something we can now have up here. The scrapyard is finished. Very good. We just need more people for that, so let's reassign those 2 builders as settlers only. Let's also get this gatherer here become a normal settler, so it happens more quickly. Right now they do then get the scraps up here. And what we can see now with the scrapyard, we can have to change the field of work. So there we can decide where he should work. And right now he should start here with the village. There's not that much scrap, the most scrap here. But we do have some scrap piles here that just don't look good and take space. So let's get rid of them. And we should assign some to that. So the scrap collector, this guy here, let's assign 2. And they're working on that. Very good. Getting now some scrap here again. We still don't have a forester, but then again, we really have to be careful with the amount of people that we assign to workplaces. Shouldn't be too high, you know, so having too many production buildings that work at low efficiency because of low workforce is never a good idea. So in that case here, we just, well, wait for that and just be happy with the tasks, because the task here, gather wood, we can still do that. Let's get rid of this one here. There's no more trees here. There's still some trees here, so let's take them in that area there. And then probably over here too, right? And then that's it. Then I will probably have a forester lodge somewhere, as my population is growing. Now here the scrapyard is working, and I love the graphics during daylight. Especially the grass is looking really good. Performance is good. We're just looking around here on a fine sunny day on day 9. Collecting some scrap here from the village now. As we can see here, the scrap pile is gone, so they're really efficient about that. And they're now working on those scrap piles down here. As everybody's doing his business there. We got 5 settlers actually right now, more adults in that case here. And yeah, we do have enough herbs there. We do have enough metal, so let's have the refinery finally. The refinery though, oh yeah, we do have enough scraps there too. It's a huge building, oh my gosh, huge one. And I don't know if you should have that down here actually, so let's have that probably over here too with the scrapyard, right? And I decided to build this refinery now over here, that we have a good nice spot for it, so here we can have it. And let's just actually, wait a second, let's remove it there real quick. So the refinery over here, and there we can squeeze it in just like that, as you can see. Just fitting there to the road, that's perfect, and far away from my town center, but close enough to the warehouse that it still matters. And over here we can then have more normal buildings. Now with the refiner, we'll be able to, as we can see, a refinery simultaneously separates metal, cloth, plastic or electronics from scrap. So much faster than a normal recycler, this one here. And I'm still going to leave the recycler there for some other things. So plastic is something that's very important. And we can now have the tool shop as well. We have run out of tools. That is very important to have that. So the tool shop here, and we can actually, yeah, squeeze it in here somewhere. We could, but we will need 2 or 3 of them actually eventually. So quite a lot there. And in that case, let's just have those tool shops then somewhere over here or here. Here actually they fit in the most, I think. Here just to the refinery. Very good. There we have one for now. And I've assigned now 5 builders there to those buildings here, so we can build them quickly. That is the first one. And the next one is now the Forester Lodge. Now we have cut down enough trees for now. The Forester Lodge will then also allow us to replant those trees. And we can do that, well, not over here, but over here I think there is a good spot for foresters. Here we have lots of trees. The reason why I'm not doing it here, because here we have plants and animals and stuff like that, and if I cut down the trees here too, I might scare them off, and I might also destroy some bushes in the process. So let's just have that over here. There we have the Forester Lodge for some endless amount of wood then that we need. And let's have the dirt road there quickly. Going then right over here where we have the warehouse already built. Now what I can see, water and food is still looking fine. Water is going down a bit, that's because the adults are growing there. So let's have one more water carrier. And so far it looks quite stable, right? It looks really good, our village here. But don't get fooled by that. The game gets difficult very quickly eventually. And right now we should be happy with that. Let's reassign those guys over here. And with that, see you in the next episode.